Hello! Today we are going to have a look at the Lake of Rot and the Grand Cloister from a level design and world design perspective. Starting off on this small island over here. We just came down the elevator from Noxtella over here and we landed in the Lake of Rot shoreside. Having a look from here, we can see a few items scattered around in the lake itself. We can see in the far distance some ruins and usually just the entrance to the Grand Cloister. In my game, I have these pillars already raised up, but when you're first getting here, the pillars are underneath the lake itself. So just act like you don't see them right now. Because I've already raised every single platform. The Lake of Rot will, of course, apply Scarlet Rot to your character, so you might want to equip every single item that raises your immunity the most. For example, Mushroom Head increases your immunity by 44, excuse me. You want to increase your immunity, so it takes a longer time for you to get the Scarlet Rot Affliction. On top of that, you might want to craft some preserving boluses, just in case you're getting Scarlet Rot. You might want to eat some cured meats over here, and you might want to equip the incantation called Flame Cleanse Me, even if you're a mage character or someone that doesn't use incantation. You can easily equip this one. It just requires 12 faith, and everyone should be able to use this, even if you have put not a single point into faith. Okay, if we've done that, we can start, right? And because a specific script in the cheat engines table that I'm using is not working, as I'm using torrent for this place, because, as I said, the script that negates the Scarlet Rot Affliction isn't working, and I don't want to sit here and hear that Scarlet Rot hissing sound all the time. So I'm using torrent, because torrent is immune. Isn't that great? If we have a look at a map, we can't really see much, but for myself, I've made two routes. One route is the quote-unquote optional route that goes alongside the eastern wall and grabs every single item, and the other route that goes, well, through the middle, raising all the platforms, and on the western side, grabbing every single item. And I would advise you to go this path first, the eastern path first, because you can easily grab these two items and heal yourself up at the grace again, and then go through this area over here, maybe stopping at this destroyed ruin here to, well, get rid of the Scarlet Rot Affliction and kill a few basilisks that are hiding in the Scarlet Rot Lake itself. They're not jumping out because I'm not triggering them right now. But they're here, you can believe me. And you want to get rid of this follower over here, because he will drop you a quite useful item for this place. And of course I went in from the wrong side. He will drop you, I think, the immunizing horn charm +1, which greatly raises your immunity, as it says, which is quite useful for this place. You might want to go from safe place to safe place, so you're not wasting so many resources, your resources being your flask and your boluses or your FP if you're using Flame Cleanse Me. And on the time you don't want to get death blighted by the basilisks, so be careful. It shouldn't be that hard. Then you're seeing, usually without these platforms around him, the Dragon Soldier that is just lying in there. Don't worry, he won't aggro unless you're getting very close to him. And with this pillar, stepping onto this pressure plate, you will raise up these platforms so you can actually fight him without getting Scarlet Rot, right? And it's a quite nice fight against this one because you have only limited space. It adds some more difficulty. On top of that, this is the strongest version of the Dragonkin Soldier, and by that I mean this one has the most HP and deals the most damage, but it's lacking the Ice Lightning spells that the Dragonkin Soldier in this area over here uses in this boss fight. Because this is technically not a boss, because there's no boss health bar. And this is basically the end of the optional path, or what I call the optional path, because here you will just grab this item over there, then go and jump on these rocks and pillars over there and grab the, where is it? And grab the mushroom crown that I've already done. The mushroom crown's up there. Here's some basilisks. Don't fight them, just jump down and run away. And then you can either, if you've grabbed the crown, you can either try and kill the Dragonkin Soldier, or if you don't want to fight him at all at this point, you can go back to the first grace and you take the actual path to the Grand Cloister itself. And you will, of course, you can just run through there and basically not pick up every single item here, or you can use the intended way by the developers. You can step on these pressure plates to raise up your platforms. Come on. To create yourself a path that you can safely walk on. Keep in mind there are basilisks here in the water itself, and they will jump out once you're getting too close to them if they detect you, but they're basically pushover. It shouldn't be that hard to deal with them. I mean, you have enough space to dodge their cloud attacks, their Deathblight attacks, so it shouldn't be that hard. Here you can also grab these two items that we can see here, one there and one a bit further in the lake itself, and then you can run back, heal yourself up, and go to the next pillar. At some point with this pillar over here, you will raise up these bridges, or whatever you want to call them. With this one, the first bunch, I think, or the second one, I can't really remember. And then over here, also raised, you can raise up the final one, so you can actually walk on top of there. And I will go there shortly. And you can kill this dude when you're getting back down again. Sadly, I've already done this with a faulty recording, so I have to re-record this one, and I can't undo the raising of the platforms, so this will do. So once you've stepped on this pressure plate that is once down there, it will rise up to this point here, and you can explore this, well, very pointless area in my opinion up here. There's just this one item, and then there is a fight versus a Onyx or Alabaster Lord. I don't really know which one this is, but it's basically the dudes that are naked, a little bit bigger than you naked, and have the, where is it? This sword, I guess. Onyx Lord then. So they're not very strong. Shouldn't be a problem. Then once you've grabbed that item that was over here and killed the Onyx or Alabaster Lord, you can basically go down the way I just went up, kill the Scarab down there and make your way into the cloister, and maybe grabbing some more items that are in this building over there, which is I think a cookbook, and the building is I think a cookbook, so you might want to grab that. And I can't tell you how nice it is to use torrent in this area. Of course, you can't do this without cheat engine because, well, otherwise the whole gameplay mechanic or the whole gimmick of this place with raising platforms so you can get to safety would be useless because torrent is immune. And I mean, while riding on torrent, you're not getting affected by status effects like poison and scarlet rot if it's not coming from the enemies. So grab this item and get into the cloister. And I think I will count this one as area number 1. So let's evaluate the Lake of Rot from a world design and the other design perspective. So the Lake of Rot, level design first, right? How many enemy types do we have in here? Well, 1 or 3, however you want to see this. The majority of enemies is made out of basilisks, the frog dudes. So then we have 1 follower who will, ancestor follower, whatever they're called, who will drop a talisman for you. Then there is a mini-boss in form of the Dragonkin Soldier and a mini boss in form of the Alabaster Lord or Onyx Lord, whatever this one is. So technically 4 different enemies, but really it's just 1 enemy type and 3 something, right? So enemy variety and placement, I would give it a 6. It's nothing special. It's not bad. Like, while basilisks are bad, they're fairly placed in the Scarlet Rot area here, and like there's not like 20 at the same time. Otherwise, this would have been like underneath 5 for sure. I would rate it underneath 5 if there were like 10 at a time. But that's not the case. They're like, I think 4 is the most you will encounter at the same time, and just if you're not careful. And they're manageable. It's not like a total nightmare of level. So that's nice. And then the level design itself, it is designed with the gimmick of raising up platforms so you can traverse the area fairly safely. At least you have some islands where you can heal up again and cleanse yourself of the Scarlet Rot, which is nice. And then on top of that, we have the interesting fight against the Dragonkin Soldier, which is basically you have 4 platforms to navigate, and, well, when you fall down, when the Dragonkin Soldier knocks you into the Scarlet Rot, you have a problem. Otherwise, you should be fine. It's kind of nice fighting them with a restrictive area. It adds a little bit of difficulty, which is kind of good difficulty in this area, because falling down into the lake is not instant death, but you're getting punished. Not punished too hard, because sometimes you're not even getting the Scarlet Rot affliction, but it adds difficulty without adding cheap difficulty in form of now you have a lot of adds to this boss fight, right? So it's a nice difficulty curve with the Dragonkin Soldier boss fight there, or mini boss fight here. So I would give the level design itself, with the gimmick in mind, like a 7. It's fairly good. Even though I don't really like this area, it is quite nice. And now the world design of the Lake of Rot itself, I mean, it looks impressive and devastating because there's so much Scarlet Rot here. But the bad part are the platforms you are raising, because from a world design perspective, they're not really making that much sense itself. Because why would you raise them? Why aren't they there to begin with, right? It's a gameplay mechanic. But from a world design perspective, it makes no sense. So, Lake of Rot world design itself is a like 4 maybe, but because it looks impressive from a twisted sadistic point of view, it's an impressive area. The looks, I would give it a 7, so it raises up to a, let's say, 5.5, right? So the world design of this place, of the Lake of Rot, is 5.5, and the level design is like a, it's like a 6 or 7-ish, something in this place. And keep in mind, I can't stand this area. I don't like the gameplay loop in here, but I'm fair rating this area. But now let's get into the Grand Cloister, because this area is a bit more frustrating and fun, better to look at, I don't know. It has its problems as well, because, well, this is the entrance, just a big as waterfall with a small staircase here, and then the site of grace, and there's not much to this place, but we will see once we explore this place, because when we look at this, it looks quite impressive, but if we have a look at the map, it's all there is. Like, the level is very small here. And here we are officially in the Grand Cloister, and this is why I put this together with this with the Lake of Rot episode, because, well, like, don't want to talk like 5 minutes of with this area. Like, it's not that big of an area, and there's just 2 enemy types down here. And what I don't really appreciate is that there is a biggest platform that we just stood on, with a staircase going down to a lower raised platform, and then there's just nothing. There's not even an indicator that there is a staircase leading down here, because there is no rubble down here. But it would make sense, right, to make a staircase that goes actually to the bottom floor here, because when we look up there, there is no second floor. The only second or first floor there is the floor that we came from, like where the grace is, excuse me, and then the small platform. But there's no indicator of another platform or a staircase going down here, so I don't know how these guys went down here, like, at all. So that's a bit, that's kind of strange design, I must say. Then on top of that, we only have 2 enemy types down here, and, well, 99.9% of the enemy type are the Kindred of Rot, and the 1% is the mini-boss that hides right here, because if you want to grab these items, you're getting ambushed by this one. The earth starts quaking, and a tree spirit will come out to eat you. And I don't like this enemy type, because, well, it's just annoying to fight. It's at the start, it's difficult. It's quite the difficult enemy, but once you're getting used to them, you can basically kill them without getting hit once. So they're not very difficult if you know what you're doing, but they're still no fun to fight. Like, At least not for me. So if you've grabbed these 2 items, killed that thing, or just ran from it, can't blame you. It's just dropping a... where are these things? Do I have some of them? They're dropping the thing that you can use to upgrade your flasks. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but... well, going alongside the river here, we have, well, a lot of kindreds praying to something. And it's not really clear what they're praying to. Maybe that statue over there, it's a very big statue, or maybe the item that we find inside, because inside this room over here is not a boss fight. No, it's just a room with a box inside, and the box harbors the... where is it? The scorpion stinger, which says, dagger fashioned from a great scorpion's tail, glistering with scarlet rot. The ceremonial tool used by heretics, crafted from the relic of a sealed outer god. Well, a bit of lore here, but it's just a dagger, and not a really good dagger on top of that. No special Ash of War, applies scarlet rot, but that's it. So, and when you go this path, there's the end of this area. This is the end. Here we can rest again in a coffin to get to the next area, which is just this small area over here, and then the boss arena of Astel, Natural Born of the Void, which is like very disappointing in my opinion. And here we're getting into the rating of this place, because actually let's get up there for that, because the Grand Cloister looks impressive, right? It's this big ass, very tall building, at least from the outside, that looks very mysterious and impressive, right? Look how high up it goes there. Then you're going in here, and the layout looks like a fun level, right? It looks like fun to me. At least I like levels like these. It kind of reminds me of the pyramid part from Dark Souls 2, the Sunken King DLC, the Poison DLC basically, where you descend in this pyramid before you fight the first, and then directly after the second boss of the first DLC. And it kind of reminds me of that, because you have to descend here, right? You're high up here, and then you're jumping down, and then sadly that's it. What I wish would have been like a bigger area to explore. Maybe some rooms, like maybe some jumping puzzle action, or not jumping puzzle, look. Maybe there is a bridge leading onto the other side. Maybe there's another side with a few rooms inside that you can explore. Maybe like worship rooms or whatnot, rooms with a few tombs inside of them, or flowers, or whatever, right? Whatever they're praying to. And a bit make the level design a bit more complex, because right now, excuse the voice crack there, because right now we only have like, that's it. Up here, that's it. How are you even supposed to get down from here, right? Like, I would expect a staircase leading down there, but there, as I said, down there is no indicator of a staircase being there. It just looks like the platform ends here, and how you're supposed to get down there is unclear to me. Of course, we have the way of jumping down, but that is not the official way, right? So the level design and the visual design, this whole place leaves a lot to desire, in my opinion. On top of that, we have the problem with only one enemy type down here, plus the tree spirit thingy there. Like, there's only one version, or technically there are two versions of the Kindreds of Rod. This version and then the very small version without the weapon that will just jump at you, which is just... And the second version is not even here, it's just this enemy type. Like, it completely feels rushed to me. This area looks like it has a lot of potential, but sadly the potential is just there. Like, it's disappointing. But it looks amazing. I really like the aesthetics of having this walkway with the river in the middle of it. It looks very interesting, like, but they've done so little with that, and what can I say? It's just disappointing. So how would I fix it? I would make it more complex, maybe put a few more rooms and platforms there that you can get to, maybe fix the problematic or the problem with a missing staircase here. Of course, if you want to destroy the staircase, that's fine, but there's no indication of a way down there. Like, as I said, missing ways, missing doors, missing everything. And then it's just a way of getting to the coffin itself. This area could have been so much more, but it is not. Sadly not. Because it looks, to be honest, more impressive than the Lake of Rot itself, in my opinion. Could have been so much more fun. But let's rate this place, shall we? 2 enemy types. One of them, Kindred of Rot. Luckily, they are placed... luckily, how they are placed is that you can only... or that you have the opportunity to fight only one at a time. The minis that are down there, you can lure one at a time. The patrolling ones, you can also lure them one at a time. So they're not placed that way that you have to fight multiple at a time, which is good, which is the saving part of this area, because otherwise I would give it a something below 5 for the enemy placement, but this is a 5. At least the enemy placement is not like a complete asshole placement, right? But it's just one, technically 2 enemy types down there, so I can't give more than a 5. Then the level design itself, it's like you jump down, you either go to the waterfall, to this beast that is... Did despawn? Oh no, I teleported up, of course. Of course it despawned. Or you go this way. Grab the item in that room and then go to Astel. That's it. Like, I don't even know, how do I rate this? It's like, it's so little. How do I rate this? Is it a 5? Is it below 5? Like, tell me what to rate it. I give it a 5 just because I don't know how to rate it. It's not a fully fledged out level, in my opinion. Like, and I'm rating it as a separate level, so because it says Grand Cloister, it's a different area, right? Lake of Rot is over there, and this is the Grand Cloister, and it's disappointing. So 5 for level design. And world design, I guess it looks amazing, so that's saving it, but there's no indicator of a staircase here. Maybe this pillar over there once harbored a staircase. Maybe the stairs go down here, like in a straight line down there, but I don't know. It just isn't clear to me. So how you're supposed to get down there? Maybe you're just getting born there and you're just stuck down there. Maybe then they can climb on walls and they don't need this, but why do you have this entrance over here with a staircase if they can climb walls? Like, it's not a cohesive world design, so the world design gets a 4 or maybe a 3. 4. Let's give it a 4. I don't want to be too harsh, but the looks is like a 7. So what's the middle? I guess it's a... Let me give it a 5.5 for the world design. Looks are saving this place big time, because... maybe I'm just salty right now. Maybe I should give it a 6 for world design without saying anything. Like, it's nothing special. So, but let me know how you would rate this place, why you would rate it higher, or why you would be even harsher than me. Like, maybe I'm just unfair to this place. Maybe this is a great place. Maybe I should have counted Astel to that, but I don't think the Astel area makes it wet. Alright, the transportation method, right? Because we have the coffin here. I really hate the transportation method of coffins. Like, it's a teleporter, basically, right? A coffin is a teleporter in this game. A teleporter is a teleporter, a coffin is a teleporter. Why not just make a good path there? Can't you come up with an interesting path to that area? Like, for fuck's sake, I really don't like the implementation of teleporters in this game, because it's like the lazy way of getting from point A to point B. In my opinion, like, how are you getting down here to in this Ainz River main area? You take the teleporter from Renner's Rise. How are you getting to the tree over there, Mikolas Halik tree? You take a teleporter. There's no path there. It's just the whole world underneath feels disconnected, extremely disconnected, which is kind of, it's a shame, in my opinion. It could have done better. Also, this one. Why is this one over here? They just need you to be there. Why does this coffin lead to this place of all places? Like, it's going down here and then... It's just bad, but that's... I've already set my rating, and it's just ranting by now, so... I think that's it from me. Goodbye.